The right attitude towards injustice. Geronda, when I am wronged, my heart becomes hardened. For your heart not to be hardened, you must never think that someone else is at fault, or how much that person is at fault, but rather how much you are at fault. You see, when people are at odds with one another, each one of them thinks that he is in the right, and each thinks that he is entitled to more rights than the other person. And so they are constantly in disagreement. For example, they go to the police and each one says, "The other fellow beat me," without revealing how much he himself beat the other, and he presses charges. If we only remembered that Christ suffered the greatest injustice of all, then we would be ready to accept with joy every injustice done to us. Though God, he descended to earth out of infinite love and accepted to be confined in the womb of the Panagia for 9 months. Then he lived quietly for 30 years, from the age of 15 to 30. He worked as a carpenter among the Jews. Even the tools used in those days were very rudimentary and required hard work to transform rough pieces of wood into useful furniture. It is difficult for us to imagine how difficult the work of a carpenter was in those days. And after that, Jesus endured 3 years of hardships, wandering around barefoot and preaching. He healed the sick, restored the sight of blind people with spittle and clay, and they still wanted him to show them signs and miracles. He cast out demons from the possessed, but unfortunately, the ungrateful people claimed that he himself was possessed by a demon. And while so many had spoken and prophesied about him, and he had performed so many miracles, in the end he was mocked and crucified. This is why those who have suffered injustice are God's most beloved children. As wronged people, they hold the wronged Christ himself in their heart, and they rejoice in exile or in prison as if they are in paradise. Because where there is Christ, there is paradise. Geronda, is it possible for someone to bear too heavy a burden? God does not allow a burden that is beyond our strength. Indiscreet people place unbearably heavy burdens on others. The benevolent God often allows good people to suffer at the hands of evil people, so that they can gather blessings for heaven. Geronda, is complaining related to ingratitude? Yes, it is quite possible for someone to be unaware of the care being provided for him and to complain about being wronged and treated unfairly. If he is not vigilant with himself, when he makes a mistake and people advise him to be careful, he may very easily imagine himself wronged by them, and may even become impudent. For example, a sister may use too much pesticide and burn the olive trees. Someone advises her accordingly, but instead of acknowledging her fault and asking for forgiveness, she feels wronged and begins to weep and complain. They are unfair to me. If the locusts had come to destroy the trees, they wouldn't have said anything. But now that I am the cause of their destruction, they are shouting at me. "Oh my Lord, you are the only one who understands me." And the tears continue to flow. She may even feel a sense of joy, imagining that she will be rewarded for enduring the injustice, and express gratitude to Christ. This is a false understanding of the situation, a serious error.